Hello, my friends. So we got a fun one today, right? So we finally got some more information about Dynasty. I guess the kind of like pseudo spoiler season is kind of officially started because we've gotten several spoilers now. But the actual official spoiler season is going to start on November the 1st, and the official release date is going to be November 11th. So we're going to be getting the start of preview season is going to be 10 days before the actual official release date. Now, with the world the way it is, some of the releases in the past, like I think Uprising got pushed back several times. So just this is just think of this as a placeholder right now. We don't actually know when it's actually going to be released. Are they going to do pre-release? Is the pre-release date going to be on the 11th? Who knows? We don't know, but that's kind of like a general idea. This is what they're shooting for. This is their goal, right? So take this with a grain of salt, but it's good to have a date. But yes, we got a whole breakdown of what's going to be in each pack. We got a kind of a breakdown of what's going to be in the whole set. We got, how many Marvels, Fables, Legendaries, all that fun stuff. We got some stuff that we kind of already knew. It's going to have the same paper wrappers that they've had in the last two sets, which I am a fan of. I love the paper wrappers. They're so fun to pop up. And Everfest had some kind of like some issues with card quality, and a lot of people blamed it on the paper packs, but I haven't seen any issues at all in any of the packs I've opened for Uprising. So I think it was possibly just whoever was cutting the stuff for Everfest that was what was causing the issues. But yeah, it looks like the kind of packs are going to be laid out the same way as Uprising, where you got 10 cards per pack, one of which is going to be your cold foil / Marvel slot. And then you have 24 packs per display and 4 displays per case. It's pretty standard there. So we knew it was going to be a supplemental set, but this does confirm it. So this is not going to be draftable. It's going to be in the same vein as Everfest and Crucible of War. So I think that's pretty standard. Everything's pretty standard here. We gotta look at the freaking packaging, and oh man, is it good! Look at this box. This is crazy looking, right? Look at that. That's gorgeous. I'm a big fan. I love it. They have been on fire with their marketing stuff lately and their packaging. Like everything just looks so good. Like look at this pack. That's gorgeous. Very good contrast. Though like kind of copper, the oxidized copper look is so good. And then the dragon scales. Big fan. I'm a big fan. Good job, guys. But and then if you're a store or somebody who's looking to sell the product, or even if you're just kind of making content, there's marketing assets. And the Dynasty logo, we've had that for a little bit because we saw it on the big stand where they revealed the Emperor. Gorgeous. I mean, it's very very clean. Looks very good. So let's look at some of the cards. Right. I know this is what you guys came here for. So the kind of big like amazing card that they showed off that they're very putting front and center here is going to be the Crown of Dominion. So this is our second crown, or I guess third Crown of Seas, right? But yeah, so we had the Crown of Providence. I wonder what the lore difference is between Crown of Providence and Crown of Dominion. But we did learn that the Marvels are primarily going to be equipment based, which is really cool because I mean, don't get me wrong, the dragons were gorgeous, but it's really cool that we're going to have Marvels that like other people aside from Gromai can play, right? So this is we also got 2 of the 5 legendaries have been spoiled now. So we learned that Emperor, the card that James White showcased in Lille, is he's a legendary. So we when I made my video covering him, also he's growing on me a little bit. I don't think he's as bad as I thought he was, like badly designed at least. But yeah, he's a legendary, and also the new Crown of Dominion is a legendary. So we only have 3 legendaries left. 3 legendaries and a Fable. But the Marvels are probably going to be primarily Majestics and Rares, I would say. I think this is probably the kind of exception and not the norm that the legendaries are going to have a Marvel version. I'm wondering if we do see a Marvel version of the Emperor. I feel like that's probably going to happen, right? Or maybe the new class or something. Who knows? But yeah, so the Crown of Dominion is an interesting card, right? It says your hero is royal, and when you equip Crown of Dominion, create a gold token. So it's generic equipment. Anybody can run it. It's a headpiece. It does not have a block value, but I'm wondering. So we have now seen 3 mentions of royal. The Emperor himself is royal. So he's a royal draconic warrior wizard hero young. That's a whole lot of words. But I don't think Royal is a talent, right? I think Royal is just kind of like a descriptor or like a super type, because the only other card that we've seen that mentions Royal is this guy right here, Imperial Warhorn, and we're going to talk about that in a sec. But it also says when you equip Crown of Dominion, create a gold token, which we also got the confirmation that gold token is exactly what we thought it was. Uh, it's the exact same stat line that we expected it to be. You had Copper and Crucible of War, Everfest had silver, and now Dynasty has gold, and they're essentially just one resource cheaper draw card. But there's probably going to be more uses for gold. We already have a lot of cards that reference gold, which I thought was really cool that they kind of future proofed it. Those cards, like I think even stuff from Crucible maybe referenced gold. I'm not sure, but regardless, we now officially have gold as an official card. But yeah, it's just action two resources, destroy this, draw a card, and go again. So that's pretty cool. But the thing that kind of got me kind of wound up a little bit was, it says when you equip Crown of Dominion, you create a gold token. So does this mean that like during a game, during a match, we can equip Crown of Dominion? Like, I don't know, the way they worded that, but it might just be for PvE, right? Because we don't know how PvE is going to work. It could be that this is just kind of, for now, it's just going to be at the beginning of the game, you get a gold token on the field, kind of like Dash's ability where you just start with an item. This item just would be a gold token. I don't know. Is it going to be something like if you blow up your headpiece, you block with your headpiece, you can then swap it out for Crown of Dominion? Is it going to be you can steal a Crown of Dominion from somebody? Like, how's that going to work? So I think I mentioned this just a second ago, but I just want to come back to this. So it says your hero is Royal, and one of the reasons why I feel like Royal is just a descriptor and not a talent, meaning I don't think there will be any Royal cards, right? I don't think there will be any cards that have Royal in the tagline that you have to be a Royal to play, because you can destroy this card. There is equipment destruction in the game. Like, it's not, well, I'm wondering, since I'll have to look back at the equipment destruction, because a lot of it says if it has 0 block, destroy it. Does this technically have 0 block? It doesn't have a block value. So can you destroy this? I'm not certain. I think there's equipment destruction that just says destroy equipment, and you can technically give this a block value with some Guardian cards, and this is a generic equipment. So technically you could block with this, and there are cards that destroy blocking equipment, like Shatter, for instance. I don't know, but if you had a way to destroy this equipment, you would then remove the Royal tag from your hero, meaning if there were Royal cards, it would invalidate you to be able to run them in your deck. So like, I feel like that is like, I don't know. I feel like the logistics on that just mean that probably Royal is not going to have a card pool, if that makes sense. It'll be more like what we have here in the Imperial Warhorn. So I've talked about this a couple times now. Let's actually take a look at what it does, and I'll give you my thoughts on it, right? So, Imperial Warhorn, another item. We got another item here. So, it's a red generic action item. It is legendary, so you can only have one in your deck, but it costs 2 resources, pitches for a red, does not have a block because it's an item, but it has action, pay 1, destroy Imperial Warhorn, choose any number of heroes. Each of them chooses an ally, aura, item, or landmark permanent they control, and destroy each permanent chosen this way. If you are Royal, instead you choose the permanents. So I feel like this is going to be what Royal does. I feel like Royal is just going to say, hey, I get to pick, when you kind of have stuff like this where your opponent potentially would have the choice. Instead, you get to make that choice for them. So I imagine we'll see some more cards in the set that have like the Royal essentially addendum, but yeah, I don't think Royal will have an actual card pool. So I'm sure somebody is going to do a breakdown of like all the card pools, what number in the set all of these cards are, and all that fun stuff. But I'm not that guy. So one thing to note here, this says that you can choose any number of heroes, so you can target yourself. So if there's something that you have that you don't want, such as the afflictions introduced in Uprising, like Frost Hex, you can blow up Frost Hex with this. So we now have 2 cards that can destroy Frost Hex. Now, unfortunately, this is legendary, so you only get 1 shot with this, and then Thaw, you only get 3. But you can recur Frost Hex, so technically you can still, it's just mind games basically. But yeah, you can target yourself with this if you have something like a permanent under your control that you don't want or is afflicting you in some way. So I feel like they're gonna keep doing afflictions because I feel like this is indirectly anti-affliction, and so I feel like they're preparing for more afflictions to be around, if that makes sense. Now, another thing to note about this card, neither playing it nor activating the ability has go again, and it's not an instant. So you do have to use the whole action point to play it, and then a whole action point to activate it. So, like, I don't know how good this card's going to be. I guess it really depends on, how prominent items and, allies and stuff. I mean, this is good, I guess, if your opponent has the allies from Monarch that are super beefy, or if you just don't have a way to rid your opponent's dragons out of the field, or maybe there's going to be, I theorized in Uprising that the Fable would be the big, like, dragon that built Volcor that burrowed under the volcano. But maybe we see that here, and maybe this is good because maybe that dragon's going to be OP. We don't know. But yeah, so these are the only cards that we got officially revealed, but we do have one other card. So it's a new hero. So yeah, I was inspecting Element to find the the hero portrait, because the portrait that they have on the website is black and white. But we do have a color portrait under the under their Google API or whatever. So yeah, so this is the second. It's the official title on the website is, or behind the scenes is, Dynasty Character 2. but yeah, so we know this guy's going to be one of the new heroes. I imagine. Let's see, how many heroes were there in Everfest? We had Icelander, Starvo, Guinness What You Need, Valda. So I imagine we'll have at least 4 heroes here. So we have the Emperor. This guy, honestly, I feel like this whole kind of Dynasty, like Volcor situation is very much referential to kind of like the Three Kingdoms era in Chinese history. I was doing a little research on it just because this guy struck me as Guan Yu, right? This guy looks like Guan Yu. He's got a freaking Guan Dao, I think is how you pronounce it, the halberd looking thing. This dude's Guan Yu. So I feel like they really based this guy a whole lot on Guan Yu. So I don't know. A lot of people that I've seen talk about this kind of guy has said he's going to be a guardian. So I was reading up because I remembered in the lore book, guardians are pretty much exclusive to Arya, from what I understand, right? Because the guardians are essentially the protectors of the land of Arya, right? Like if you a lot of the card art that mentioned guardians before Arya came out, it was like guardians were like these mythical beings, and like they had these massive like spirits or gods that like kind of granted them their powers. Yeah, so the lore book specifically says they were blessed with a connection to an elemental, which granted them their extraordinary abilities, and then they basically use these abilities to kind of just be these supernatural, unstoppable forces of power, and they're really in tune with the flow, which is kind of like the spiritual god energy of Arya, which I was actually reading this again because I hadn't read this in a while. So it's interesting here because we know from the lore in Volcor that their connection to Aether, all of the kind of wizards and whatnot in Volcor, their connection with Aether has been tainted by some force, and it's been very unstable and out of balance. And like in Kano's lore, some of the students were like setting themselves on fire, basically like melting their faces off because the flow or the Aether is so unbalanced. And in the lore, the Tides of Change here, it actually it actually talks about the flow is the same things happening. It's actually destroying the landscape. Things are getting sucked into the flow. The flow's out of whack as well. So I'm wondering what exactly is going on. I wonder if this is all tied to what's going on with the Demonastery. Probably, because it looks like, and also I'm still conflicted on whether the new class is going to be an assassin or a necromancer, right? Like, I think there's a really big case to be made for both, and I really hope it is an assassin, and I hope it is Shiana, because Shiana's in the lore. We know she's in Volcor right now, and I love Shiana. She is one of my favorite heroes. But yeah, I hope we get an assassin Shiana. That would be so cool. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think there's a connection here, but we know that there's some kind of weird force that's kind of corrupting and destroying some of the wizards in Volcor. So, but anyways, also that art we also have in one of the key arts for the Emperor. I think this his card art, possibly. We see this new guy right here as well, but I don't think he's a guardian. I genuinely don't know what he's going to be. Um, he could be a guardian. I think it's going to be weird if they talk about how guardians are exclusive to Arya and really get their powers from an elemental. I mean, I guess maybe he can be like a guardian that's just in tune with Aether instead of an elemental. But yeah, and also I just don't know what he would be though, because I don't think he would be a warrior if the Emperor is a warrior too. But maybe so. Maybe he'll be like a draconic warrior. But Draconic Warrior doesn't make any sense because the Draconic cards so far have nothing really in common with Warrior. But then when you think about it, Bolton's kind of a hybrid class too, where he has a lot of attack action cards. And Warrior, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's going to be just a Draconic Warrior. We'll see. But I mean, Draconic Wizard doesn't make a lot of sense either. I don't know. I mean, not for this guy. I'm talking about specifically for the Emperor. He's a Draconic Warrior Wizard. Neither one of those really mesh with the Draconic talent, in my opinion. But yeah, he's built like a guardian. He's probably a warrior. I hope. I don't know. I would love to see an axe weapon for warriors because I love. What's it called? Spill Blood. I think that's what it's called. The one that gives your axes +2 and dominate. That's such a good card. I love playing it, and the only axes we have right now are the one-handed ones from Bolton. But I think it'd be cool to get a double-handed axe. But I think this will probably be a polearm weapon. I don't know. Will he get a weapon card? Who even knows? It might just be the hero card. We don't actually know. But my bet is he's going to be a warrior. I don't think he's going to be a guardian. But yeah, that's kind of it as far as some of the cards and stuff. We did get some lore stories. The Emperor has 2 stories. Actually, one thing interesting, real quick before I let you guys go. So there's a really cool lore story with the Emperor in which he ventures into the depths of the volcano of Volcor and finds out the secret that's been passed down from Emperor to Emperor, and basically, like the only person that's allowed to know the secret is the Emperor at the time. So like he goes in there with a bunch of his guys, his buddies. They all die. He's the only one that survives. He gets bit by one of these guys. I think this is meant to be it's an apophis. Apophis? Let me see. Let's see here. Yeah, an apophis, whatever. Took his last remaining friend and killed him, and then he basically gets bit by it as well, and he thinks he's gonna die, and it should have killed him, but his draconic blood refused to be stilled, and the flames refused to be extinguished. Basically, he freaking drank lava. It sounds like, but yeah, something in the mountain called to him. I wonder if the secret's going to be about the dragon that lives in the volcano. I imagine it probably is. That's why I think that it's probably pretty likely that we're going to get a flip card as the Fabled. And once again, this was what I was saying for Uprising, but I think we'll get this here. Volcano on the front, it'll be a landmark. Flip it into a dragon ally. And it'll have some condition for flipping it. Or it'll just be an invocation kind of deal where you play it and it flips. I don't know, but yeah, I think this is pretty cool. The who knows? Maybe it's the blood of the Drakai that's the secret. That could be a thing, right? I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited to see what this secret is. This is good storytelling here. If you haven't read the lore is really good in this game. All the heroes have their own dedicated lore pages. Just go to the Flesh and Blood website. You can go to Heroes. World of Wraith talks about all the different regions. Like, for instance, Volcor has a tab, and it talks about all the creatures, the wildlife. So the thing that bit him and killed his buddy is a large serpent with barbed scales, which basically it's a freaking lava eel. They can slink around on land a little bit, but they're really fast in the lava. Just super cool. and I highly recommend you guys read up on it. The PDF is available for free online. Sorry, the lore book is available as a PDF online under Watchtower Games. I'll leave a link to this in the description as well. It's yeah, it's pretty good. Thanks to whoever that Reddit user was. It was the first time I saw it, but yeah, that's the new stuff that we've gotten about Dynasty so far. I'm excited to see more about it, but I'm very happy with what we've seen so far. It was a little lackluster because I think having two of the legendaries now be weird. Like I feel like this is a filler legendary for being, if I'm being honest. And Emperor, I'm not super excited to play with him, but I know a lot of people are, so I won't knock you for that. But yeah, I'm very excited for Dynasty, and I think we are going to have a good set on our hands. But hope you guys have a good day. Thanks for tuning in and watching, and I hope you learned something new here. If you want me to talk about anything else, let me know in the description. If there's anything that you're kind of interested in or want me to make a video on, I'm up to suggestions. Just send a comment or send me a message or whatever. I'll include all my contact and stuff down below. And hope you guys have a good one, and have a good holiday if you're in the U.S. Monday's a holiday, so take care.